Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my friends, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Leaf, and we are back here again, right next to our Kiwi build. Very excited about that. That video did super well. Thank you guys so much. But moving on through here, we are starting on an emu build, because I don't think I've really built for these guys too much before. And I was not really feeling too inspired to go back to any of my current projects, so I was like, alright, we'll use this place as like a testing ground for the Outback Pack. We're just going to play around with like making these new exhibits and stuff like that, and we're going to have a little bit of fun with it. So as you guys can already tell, I'm doing a little bit of a moat design over here. And you can tell I already have some repeating patterns throughout here. That's something I fix up relatively easy. I did a custom mud wall over there, but it has like all these repeating stone textures, and in order to alleviate for that, I've been using like these faux rocks that came with the aquatic pack, and kind of just going throughout it and trying to make it feel a little bit more organic, make it all feel like it's a little bit more supposed to be there. And we kind of go through and frame up the top of that really quickly just to make sure that it feels cohesive with the rest of the build and with the rest of the pathway over there. And I felt like the emus needed a little bit more closer space to the guests just because, I don't know, they're relatively smaller birds. I know they're quite big when it all comes down to it, but they're some of the smaller ratites, and I really wanted to account for that, so I bring it up a little bit closer. And I do the same thing on the other side, using the faux rocks to really help this canyon feel like it's a little bit more organic, feels like it's really supposed to be there. And I have a lot of fun with this. This is something I really wanted to get into because we have so many awesome dry plants now, and I really just wanted to build like this nice dry moat, kind of like a dried up riverbed or something like that. Very excited about that. So you can see I'm making use out of all those new dry drin grasses. Oh my gosh, they're such good pieces. So we kind of line up both ends with the drin grass and it looks gorgeous. But then we also use the original drin grass, the OG, to bring in a little bit more color, because obviously having this all be yellow, it really wouldn't look the best, so I go in through there. And I also use the saltwort bushes, so I kind of use a mix of both the living and the dead ones inside of each other. Just gives it like a really nice texture overall, and I was very excited to see all that come into play. And also using one of my favorite dry pieces over there, the Triordia grass, is a really nice way to get like those seed pods in, and makes it feel a lot more wild, if that makes sense. I also felt like we needed some height inside the canyon, just as a way to make it feel a little bit more organic, make it feel like it's telling a little bit more of a story. And that's what I did over there with the dead outback trees. By the way, this entire, like, zoo, I guess we can kind of call it now since we have more than one habitat, it's going to be like my testing ground for the Outback Pack. I'm finally going to try and get that out this month. Hopefully August, maybe September, if all things go according to plan, knock on wood, but I'm really going to try and do that soon, and I apologize for like me standing still right there. I was just trying to figure out what I was doing, but no, hopefully this zoo will serve as like some nice background backdrops as a way to frame some of the shots for the Outback Pack. I also have had some help from, I think it was LP Gomez, think it may have been Robustus too. I can't remember precisely off the top of my head, but they were able to provide me with some maps as well, so it's going to be really awesome just to see all that come into play. Once we actually do start making those trailer shots, I hope you guys are excited as I am to get this pack out the ground, because I just want this out there. I want you guys to be able to play with all these awesome pieces, and you guys kind of deserve to, because we've been working on this for about a year now, unfortunately. But no, I'm very excited to get that out for all of you guys. Also working on the perimeter of the habitat, I wanted a nice simple fence. That's something I really want to try with this kind of like build series, kind of just like my Australian build series, I guess, is trying to nail down simple. Not really going too custom with a lot of pieces, because I do appreciate that, don't get me wrong. A lot of the custom works that so many people do are so inspiring, so breathtaking, but I really want to see if I can nail down that like 2 pieces, very simple, very clean, very effective, especially for background elements like those fences. you wouldn't want to spend all your time just doing details that no one's really gonna notice. And that's something I've noticed a lot too in my like recent hyperfixation, I guess. I've been really into Legos recently. I mean, listen, you hear all this? That's all my Legos. But I've been really into Legos recently, both like, you know, official sets and watching people make mocks. And essentially, a lot of the mock stuff transfers over to Planet Zoo so efficiently, and I feel like we can all take some like lessons from there. I forget who the actual creator was, but I was watching their city build. They're a German YouTuber, really impressive stuff that they have going on over there, but they really helped me settle on the fact that foreground requires a lot more detail, and that's why I spent all that time on that little trench over there for the emus, and the background doesn't really need that much detail. You can get away with a lot more broader ideas towards the background, and that's something I really like to see, so that's something I actually did. Once we actually do get to that part, I think it's in the last part of the speed build, once we do end up getting over there. But for the time being, this is another background element. It's the holding barn, and I really didn't want to go too crazy with it. I am not an interior person. You guys can go to someone else. Just Goron. Please, go to Just Goron. He just passed like 1,000 subs. Get him to 2,000. He absolutely deserves it. But he is definitely your backstage person, yeah. Same with leader. But I'm not, if you guys can't tell. I'm absolutely not. I really do love the storytelling elements of Planet Zoo. I really do love storytelling when it comes to making habitats and stuff, especially with like where I put my enrichment items and stuff. But when it comes to backstage, that's stuff that it really doesn't affect me, because I build for the guest perspective, and that is perfectly fine. And it's perfectly fine if you guys want to build backstage. Like, listen, that's all what Planet Zoo is. Like, listen, I've been watching, like, those Lego videos, and some people build with only the official sets. They don't like to make any changes to anything, and some people like to take those sets, break them apart, and make their own custom things, upgrade those sets and stuff. And that's something I feel like the Planet Zoo community really excels at as well. You have so many different awesome creators doing like their own things. You have so many creators like, I don't know, let's just say Delay Designer in Savannah. They do very, very awesome builds, but it's digestible. It's not really like anything too crazy, which I love. Like, I think that's one of the most accessible ways to make Planet Zoo habitats and stuff. Like, whenever I go into, I think it was Malin Zoo, where I went to Planet Zoo for VR, it was like all these really gorgeous habitats, but it's made using like basic pieces. And I mean, it was made back during like, you know, base game of Planet Zoo up until South America, I want to say. But it's super awesome just seeing that. And then you have the crazy people like Goron and Leader doing like all these in-depth. They're doing custom signs. They're using font pieces to make like, I don't know, gift shop. I really don't know. But it's that kind of crazy stuff that I also love to see. And that's what I love about the Planet Zoo community. You just get like so many different creators doing so many different things. Even Estan. Oh my god, Estan's back. He has like this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful approach when it comes to kind of fantasy. And I really think that's incredible to have in Planet Zoo, because no one else is building like Estan at all, mind you. And it's just super awesome just to see that. Now, going back to the build over here, I kind of just glanced over all that foliage. This is why I was talking about the background. I felt like we needed a little bit of something in the back just to really help ground the build. Otherwise, it would have just been like a simple hillside, and I really didn't want that. So I go in here with a little bit of terrain paints. I'm doing my little Bob Rawson. And here we go. I don't do too many details. Normally, if I were in like City Conservation Center, I'd be doing stuff like doing all those custom layers of grass, all those bamboo things. But no, over here, I keep it really simple. I just use I only use pieces from the Africa pack. I use the Nitria bushes, and I also use the Doom Palms. Really simple and effective over there to give like this nice desert kind of look to things. And it really helps fill it out so well, and it helps ground the build so much more, because it feels like it's telling a story. It's like this little habitat is nestled in the crux of like this little valley and this big mountain over there, and it's just so incredible just to see that all come into play. I also really want to include a lot more grass. I felt like we were missing a lot of that because emus, they don't really tear up grass all that much. So I thought it would be good just to include a lot more grassy patches. And that's kind of what I do throughout here. I use that beautiful Yorkshire foggrass, just the tip of it, you know, just the tip. It's just such an effective plant. You can use like all of it if you're trying to get like nice big swaths of green. But if you're not going for that, you can have a really effective look when it comes to, you know, just a drier grass if you sink it in like pretty much all the way and just leave like the seed pods out. But moving on through here, we are continuing that basic fence over there. Again, trying to keep things more basic than not. I thought that was pretty fun, and I was like, alright, if this is going to be the Outback Pack Test Zoo, I really want to try and make use of all the pieces that we have in here, because I have a lot of pieces. I have a lot of pieces that sometimes wouldn't really make contextual sense within a zoo, and I was like, alright, let's challenge myself to make them. So, like, those wind turbines were the perfect example of, like, you know, it really helps to ground the build, it helps to center it a little bit more, and I really do love that. And I'm also making this custom viewing gallery using all the Outback Pack pieces. I thought they turned out really well just because it gives like this nice dry effect. And I also use these beams, these are just the, you know those decorated beams that we use kind of like as an accent color for the, I think it was the Kiwi house? Yeah, we use that same exact thing throughout here, but we recolor them because that's a piece that Nick was so gracious to include in this little pack. Really awesome pieces right there. And I also do some other framework throughout here. I felt like it was a little weird just having this entire section be fence, so I really wanted to just cover it up with some wood sticks and stuff like that, and it turned out really good in the end. I don't know, it really does help to ground the build. It gives it a little bit more diversity in the pieces. And that is about it as far as I'm aware. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed the B-roll over here because, I don't know, it was just super fun just to see the emus at work and see them doing their thing. By the way, I think that was Mega Game and Rex and Good Boy touching up the emu. Really awesome work to those two. One of my favorite mods out there, and it's just such a beautiful one. And again, it will be part of the Outback Pack, so keep your eyes posted for that, and constantly annoy me about it, because hey, it worked for the olive baboon. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, you guys already know what I would love for you guys to do, but I'll challenge you this time, share the video. Let's see it. Let's see what happens if you share this video with one of your buddies, one of your pals, if it were. But thank you guys so much for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Take care, and have the most wonderful of wonderful days. Bye-bye now.